So I don't know how many of us have seen the video, but this is just the mix. This is the raw file and everything. This was, I mean, this is where I did the mixing and the mastering of the worship session that has been everywhere now. So, like I said, the first thing is the source. Now, what do I mean by the source? We're going to I'm going to take through everything that is here to explain what source is like and what it is. And let me try and remove all of the plugins first of all on this project. So let me remove all the plugins on this project. Okay. So now, what is source is actually very, very, very simple here. Source is basically just, how you get signals, where you get signals from, how and where you get your signals from. You get, I'm trying as much as possible not to, I don't use any complicated terms, anything and all and all. So for this one, we'll be starting with the drums. Now, for the drums, ideally, if you're going to get a source for your drums, yeah, the ideal way, I don't want to say standard, but at least the ideal way is, a lot of people will do kick in and kick out, right?
Mm.
A lot of people will do kick in and kick out. Someone is saying I should increase my volume. Can you all hear me now? All right. So a lot of people will do ideally kick in, kick out. Yeah. But it's not really like 100. It's not like it's very, very important that you have to have kick in, kick out. Do you understand? Now, what is important is two things. Number one, you have to make sure that the mic you are using for the kick, there are types of microphone. I'll drop everything in the group. So there are some mics that you can use that will sincerely help you out if you can't afford. I'm saying this because I'm trying to put in mind that there are some people here that have just 16 channels mixer. So if you have a 16 channel mixer and you are doing kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, you you want space for
You
everything.
finish.
So I don't I hope we're following. So what is important in that state now is to make sure that number one, get a good mic, a good kick mic that can capture both the low end and the high end. Yeah. And where you need to position the mic also now matters. Do you get? If you are going to put a mic, even if it's just this mic I'm using to speak, number one, don't put the mic totally into the kick drum. Do you understand? Put it like in the middle. So that way it's able to capture if this is the kick hole, put it somewhere in the middle, like so that way it's able to capture both the low end outside and is able to capture the bite inside. Do we get? So I'm going to give us an example here because in this project, luckily we're able to get kick in and kick out. So basically the idea is just that the kick in is supposed to be able to help you take the bites, and the kick out is supposed to be able to help you take the low end outside. So that's why they use kick in and kick out. That's like the only reason why we use kick in and kick out. So if you're able to get a mic that can help you capture both, you are good. Yeah, you are fine. So that's the first thing. I'm still working on. You guys should be able to actually hear this. I don't know why you can hear it, but I'll work on that. So that's that about the kick. Then the next thing is, because of time, I'm trying to wrap this up. The next thing is what? IATs. IAT is very, I don't say it's very easy, but one of the things about IAT is that it can be very tricky because a lot of drummers sometimes uh, they are not always careful. Some people just play loud, eat the stuff and everything. So if you're going to mark your IATs, I'll send some pictures to the group on positioning of all this equipment here. But if you're going to mark your IATs, it's always advisable. Use a very nice a nice small diaphragm condenser microphone that can pick the IATs. Do you get? I'll send pictures of all these mics to the group also. Someone should please remind me. Do you get? And of course, for IATs, just make sure it's properly beside the IAT and not too close to the snare. And that's that about IAT. IAT is not really, there's nothing much. There's no magic on IAT. So now for snare. So lately, I started doing snare top and bottom. To be honest, before I don't believe in, I just used to mic the snare, but lately I started doing snare top and bottom because sincerely, um, there's some things, there's some crunchiness, there's some, those snare, those under, all those krekekeke, those stuffs makes it just brings life to the snare. And I realized that you can't get it by just miking the top. So you have to always find a way to make sure that at least your snare top and the bottom is well mic'd. Do you understand? Let me see if you guys will be able to hear this one because so can you hear the kick now? So this kick in, and I'm using this particular project because it's not really the best of the best recordings that I've received, and I've realized that this is one of the challenges we have in Nigeria. Sincerely, to get a good, a good drums, a good drum mic, that's the beginning of the issue we have in Nigeria. And that's why I said source is very important. Most times when I reach out to all these, top people in the industry, and they're like, okay, what kind of drums do you use? What velums do you use? What mic do you use? And I say it, and they're like, you stress, you go stress. So, I always feel like, this bros no one share with me. This bros no one share with me. But sincerely, I really want us to really understand how important source is. You get, if you have to change your drum venoms, change it. If you have to change your drum mics, change it. Do you understand? Because there are times that some of the things they are looking for, oh, you want to make your kick sound great, you want to make your snare sound great, you are doing the mix, you are putting plugin, doing all this thing, you would sincerely avoid a lot of issue, a lot of drama, a lot of stress if you have a good snare velum and a good mic. And the beauty of all these things is that when you can get all these things naturally, a good velum, a good mic, because of that, you won't have to use so much plugins, and then your mix will sound very natural. So now let's look at how the kick out sounds like. Can we feel it? You can see that it's more of the
I don't know if I increase the volume. The thing is kind of faint. So
yeah, it will be faint because it's kick out. Let me just boost the volume a bit for this. So you might not be able to hear it more visual because I don't think all of us are using speakers to listen to this. It's probably our phones. So it's more of low end. But let me put the two together now. Now the kick and the kick out. Can we hear that? So with the hi-hats.
yeah,
Now with the snare. So now for the snare, let's do the snare bottom now. So I want us to really understand how important source is. If we can get this, trust me, we are like 50% or 70% done with a lot of things. Yeah. So this is what the snare bottom sounds like. Now, let me add the snare top to it. Can you see? Can you see it's giving it that snare vibes? Let me remove the snare bottom. So now, that's that about that. Then let's move to the toms. Now, the challenge a lot of people have with toms, yeah, is that number one, see, if you need to look for someone that knows how to tune drums well or knows how to, fix drums well, find them, look for them, search for them. All these things they are online already. Let them come and help you. Because some people, by the time they would tune and tighten their toms, the thing alone is already sounding pong pong pong. So let's listen to these toms. Let me switch off. Sorry. Let me remove all the plugins. So I want us to listen to the toms. Okay. Now can we hear it?
yeah, we can hear.
All right. So that's that about toms. Now the second thing for tom is that the way you mic them positioning also matters. You get, make sure that your mics are facing the thumbs itself. Thumb, the mid eye thumb. Make sure that it's facing it. Make sure that the mid thumb is facing the thumbs. Make sure that the floor thumb is facing it also. Do you understand? Make sure that the positioning are good. Make sure the miking is good. The thumb is good, and we are done with that. Now the last thing that is actually very important also. Now this stuff also, I used to overlook it sincerely too. And trust me, see, these are the little things that make a lot of people mix sound better. And that's the overhead mic. Now, the essence of the overhead mic is that it just helps you to bring. Now, listen to the overhead mic. Now, can you hear the overhead mic? So,
Yeah, we can hear it.
yeah. So now the essence of the overhead mic basically is to help you bring that natural ambience, the natural vibes of the drums. Remember, I'm speaking based on both that are using digital mixer. You want to mix and master. You want to what's the name? Even analog mixers. Do you get? Now, by the time you have processed the kick, processed snare, processed hi-hat, processed tom, processed everything, it's sounding processed already. I'm sure most of us here must have checked some live streams. I was like, on the drums sounds natural. The live streams, the drum sounds very real, very. Now, this is the secret of wide mics. So once you are done, once you are done with the processing, the EQ, the compressor, everything, the trigger, you get. Especially those of you that used to use trigger. If you're using trigger, you need to have overhead mics. You get. Now, the essence of the overhead mic is that even if it's just one, it doesn't have to be two. I know that normally we like to do two, but even if it's just one, just put one mic in the middle of the drums. So the essence of that overhead mic is that it will help you capture the natural sound of the drums. So you can blend that into the mix so that whatever you have processed on the drums, both the toms, the snare, the EQ, the kick, everything, and whatever you have processed, by the time you dial in that overhead mic, the natural vibes of it, you put it into the mix back. That's what makes the drums now sound natural. That's what makes it sound neat. Like, that's what makes it sound alive. Like, that's what makes it different from, when you listen to some people's live stream, you feel like you already know that man, these drums what to tune it, but what if like they've processed it much, they've mixed it back. And there are some people that you check their live stream, the drum is sounding like as if you think it's just phone they put there that is picking everything so clean and natural. That's the difference. So I'm saying all of all these things because I'm still going to cut out this multi-track and put it out. Everybody's going to mix with this. Everybody. But today is more of just like introduction, and I'm saying all these things intentionally because sincerely, by the time we get to a certain level, you would think that boss, which magic? What are you doing? What are you doing? These are the little secrets. These are the little things that makes the difference. You can mix your drums, mix your snare, mix your kick, mix everything. It will sound well. It will sound mixed, but it won't have that natural vibe. This is it. So now let's listen to the entire drums. Let's listen to the entire drums with the overhead mic, with everything and all. So this is what the drum sounds like naturally. So this is what the drum sounds like naturally. So now, that is that about sauce. That's that about sauce. Now, this same thing, the same approach to every other instrument. Now, let me just run through for keyboards. Please, if you have piano in your church and you don't have DI box, or guitars, or any instrument. So any instrument that has to do with lights, any instrument that has to pass current in, your lead guitar, they will use effect pedal. They have to connect the effect pedal to lights. You get keyboard. See anything. DI box. One of the importance of DI box is that it will help you reduce all those noise, all those DI box will help you with that. Then the second thing again is that DI box, the normal work of DI box that everybody knows is that what it will help you convert unbalanced signals to balanced signals. So that's another trick. If you want to have a very nice sound, get a DI box for your equipment. And there are some products out there. Let me give an example. Actron. Actron is affordable. With 60K, you can get the passive Actron. And I'm sure some of you here, una sabi the market where if you enter market where some of you na sabi price where say you see it lesser than that. So I'm just trying to speak on the source well, because these are little things that really makes a difference. So now, if you get the DI box, for instance, now if you get the DI box, the Actron passive, I like using passive because I don't like stressing myself looking for battery up and down. So most of the DI box I have here are passive. So if you get the passive DI box, it's always in stereo. So for instance, now one, I will just give it to my keyboard. My keyboard, run the keyboard stereo left and right. Plug it into the DI box. Now from the DI box, plug it into your mixer. Whether it's analog mixer, whether it's digital mixer, trust me, it will make the mix amazing for you. It will reduce the stress for you. Do you understand? So please, let's put that in mind. DI box for any instrument that has to do with your bass guitar, your lead guitar, your keyboard, all those instruments like that. Try and get a DI box. So what I do now is that for bass guitar, for example, I would use one DI box. You get, because it's stereo, I would share it with bass and lead guitar. So that's that about that. Yeah. Now let's go into vocals. So that's the last source I'll be talking about. Then I feel like, okay, second to the last, there's one of that very important. This one is this one no more is over important. Safe. In short, is the most important if you want to make your mix sound good. Now, for mics, see this microphone thing, this vocal mix, I will be very honest with everybody here. The very first step in getting sorry, Zoom is just telling me that apparently this thing is not a 1 hour class, so it's a 40 minutes. So maybe what I'll do is, maybe if I end this, I'll quickly send down that link to the group so everybody will just join in. I'm really sorry, please. I didn't know that it's 40 minutes. I thought it's 1 hour. All right, so let's just continue. So for microphones, for vocals, it's the best thing I can share to every one of you is, see, instead of looking for mix, presets, anything, this one, how to make my vocal sound great, how to make my vocal sound amazing, what you should be looking for is the microphones that you can use. I'm saying this because I understand that everyone here, we might not be able to afford to buy the 1 million naira Shure mic, we might not be able to afford to buy the, 800K microphones. But there are some microphones that can give you, for instance, now this microphone I'm using now, funny enough, it's, I think maybe just 150K or so, but it's wired. Now, this microphone, I'm going to bring one microphone now, and I will swap it. And let's just listen to the difference. Yeah. Actually, I think there's EQ on this mic. I don't know, but let's just listen to it. Sorry, please. All right. So, did you see any? Please, if you can feel any difference in both mics, can you just let me know? Drop in the comment section or something. Like if you can feel it different. Like if you.
Yeah, there's a difference.
There's a difference, right?
Yeah.
The
So
difference is very high.
exactly. So that is the first thing I want to share with all of you. See this thing that I just did now, If you know how this thing stress my life, because we'll check online how to make your vocal sound great, how to make your how to do this. Until I spoke to someone, the person said, all this mix, all this EQ, all this thing that somebody will tell you, oh, the EQ, do this and the first thing first is to know the microphones that you are using. Now, imagine if after this class I give you a preset with this mic I was using before, and in your church, this is the mic you use. Now look at it, the same EQ, the same preset, the same everything that is there. See how this one is sounding. Now, see. Now, see how this one is sounding. I don't even understand what I'm saying. So that's why I'm not talking about gain. I'm not talking about EQ yet. That's why I'm talking about source. Because look at it. If we say, oh, the issue is gain properly, It's the same gain that is on this mic that I used with this. I didn't reduce gain, I didn't increase gain. So in short, it was when I got these microphones, I knew me too. I knew some of all these things. I just realized that do you know that the amount of gain you need to push, like the amount of gain, this one now, most of the times I use almost 25 dB gain on this mic. Now I realized that same 25 dB gain on this mic, on this other mic will be too much. Sometimes I use just 15 on this one. Yeah. And this is original Shure. This is not even Alaba or Kinikon. These are, see, I don't know if you can see it. It has the, see, can we see? This is original Shure SV100. It's one of the best mics for backups. So what am I just trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that the first thing first is understanding your source. So the same goes for wireless mic. There are some microphones that, I mean, we are all together here. We are all kidding, so it's not like I'm doing adverts. But there are some wireless microphones that, trust me, they are not bad. It's just because you are trying to put a preset of another mic on that mic. That's why it's not working. There are some affordable microphones. In short, even the cheapest of the cheapest, if you buy microphone 100K safe, it will work. The only challenge is because most times you don't understand the mic. So that's that about vocals. Vocals is very easy. The first thing you need to know is what kind of microphone. Okay, does the microphone have, does it have more high, more low, more mid? All those things are not there. What is the gain level that the microphone needs to be able to, come up clearly or to be heard clearly? Do you get? So that's that about that for vocals. Personally, for me, I love wired mics for vocals, but every church now wants to do aesthetics. Everybody wants wireless. It's not bad, do you get? But make sure that you understand the microphone, and that's the first thing first. So that's that about that. So I think with this session, I've been able to talk about source. I don't know if there's anything else I'm missing out for source, but I feel like every major thing we need to start a mix is the vocals, the drums, the keyboard and instruments, everything I know, instruments, guitar, lead guitar, that's all. Then in the next 4 minutes before this link expires, let me just speak on the last thing and very important thing that I said is very important. This is it. It's the crowd mics. It's the crowd mics. So now you see this crowd mic of a thing. Eh? So please, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. So please, because of this, the limit on this time, I'm going to send another link to the group, so we'll just join him back. I'm really sorry, please, because I have less than just 3 minutes here. So I just want to speak on the last thing, so that the next one you are joining in, I'm going straight into the next topic, and then we have our questions and answers. That's all. So the last thing I'll talk about for sources is what? Crowd mics. Now, the essence of crowd mic is some of all these things. So since honestly to just start discovering, I started learning, I started, somebody just did it in my front too. Before, I honestly don't believe in crowd mics. I don't believe in why you the lead mic, every mic, the mics will pick it. But the person tried it in my front, in my church self, that was the person tried it, and my church live stream just went from 0 to 100. Even my pastor had to like, Umo, what did you put to the live stream? In my mind I was like, on top, what this person just did was crowd mic. So now, how do you do crowd mics? It's very simple. You don't need much. Now, some of you that used to buy drum mics, the pack, the one that used to have 2 overhead mics, you can use one of the overhead mics, use it for your drums. The other one, put it in the front of the church or in the middle of the church. Just find a place where you can put it that at least you know that area of the church is always very active. You get, especially if you do live stream, it's very important, trust me. So the essence of this crowd mic is that it would help you to pick, the ambience, people shouting, people praying, people clapping, people laughing, people, you get. So that way, those that are watching online, by the time they say, oh yeah, gbadura, oh yeah, pray, and they hear people praying, hey, they will feel like, yes, it will make them feel like, oh, they are part of this thing. So crowd mic has a way of making people feel like they are a part of the live mix. Do you understand that? So crowd mic also has a way of, see the reflection of your church, like the sound you get, the whole reverb, everything. The mic has a way of picking everything. So that was one of the things that I learned that actually started helping my mix. This last video that dropped now, a lot of people looked at it that, Theo, how did you do it? It's because it's in redemption
Yeah.
camp. And because redemption camp, all of us know that, the echo and everything is there and all. But I was able to replicate that in the mix. Like the mix didn't sound too studio, though it was processed well, but it still sounded like it was in camp. Why? Because I just used this crowd mic, and luckily I was able to
You
get
nailed
two mics. So you can see I pan them left and right. So that's the essence of the crowd mic. So I'm going to stop this now and send a new link to the group. So we can speak on the next thing, and then we have our question and answer. So thank you guys so much. I'm really sorry. So let's just swap.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Come on. It's good to be a part of this community, bro.
So that's that about source. Source is very important, very very important. Like we important. So as engineers, as sound engineer, as mixing the machine, anything you are doing, always make sure and find a way to get the best source. Make sure to find a way to get the best, input, your best source. So when you go back to your church, look at it. Okay, this kick, this snare, these drums, this keyboard. Am I getting the best source? If you can achieve that, like I said in the former meeting, if you can achieve that, trust me sincerely, 50% of your mix is gone. Like it's already sorted. 50% is sorted. And because I'm taking time on this because I've seen that this is the mistake that a lot of, like this is the issue a lot of people have, that they don't even know. You get, and they don't even know sincerely. So that's that about that. So I said the first thing is what source. Yeah. Then the second thing that we'll be looking at now is gain. Gain. Gain staging. Gain staging is actually very,
Mm.
very, very, very important. That's the next important thing you get. And I'm just going to show us how I do my own gain staging. I mean, what I do and how I get my own, you know, my gain staging to be clean and everything and all. So I'm coming. I want to open up
Right.
something. So now, how do we gain stage? And gain staging is for everything, both analog, both digital mixer, and that's why I'm taking it step by step. For everyone, both analog mixer, digital mixer. Now let's start with the drums. Let me open the mixer rack here so that we can see it properly. Let's start with the drums. So let's start with the drum gain staging. Now, once you've gotten your source input, your source clean and good, the next step is what? The gain staging. Now, how do you get a good gain stage? How do you make it clean, green, and nice? It's very simple. When you are setting your gain stage, when you are doing your sound check, when you are telling the drummer to play. So let me start with the kick. So let's start with the kick. Now, one of the mistakes a lot of people make is that we want to try and make the elements you're trying to gain stage. You want to try and make it as loud as possible from the gain stage, and it doesn't work that way. In short, see, if you are gain staging and what you are trying to, let me use it for layman terms, what you are trying to increase the volume of at that moment, if it's already too loud, if you can hear it so clearly and it's already too loud, you have problem at the end of your mix. Now, this is the reason why a lot of people, their live stream is blasting. Their live stream is, it's just ash. A lot of people, their live stream is just bag, 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 bag. This is just the issue. So now let me show you how you can go about it. For proper gain staging, now let's start with the kick. Here, I can increase my gain. You can see that I can reduce my gain. So how do you set a proper gain staging? Now you see these green meters here, this green line that is going up here. I hope everyone can see it. Or should I do it like this? Okay, yes. Now this is the trick to gain staging. So this is kick. You can see it. Now when you are telling the drummer to play anti-sound check, of course, there's no mixer nowadays that does not have these lights for you to be able to see it. Do you get? So now the idea of the trick is that once you are trying to gain stage, always look at that light. Tell the drummer to play at his loudest. Then always look at that light. Make sure that the light is around, like it's not going above this 18. Let me show you. This is it. Let me do it like this so that we can all see. Now this kick now, see, I'm going to increase it. Increase again. Increase it. Now you can see. Can we see it now? Can you see it? So now, with the way this kick is now, see it's hitting around that 18-15. The essence of this is so that by the time this is hitting 18-15, it's already clean, it's green, it's nice here already like this now. Yeah. Anything, anywhere I want to send it to, because of course this is kick in, this kick out. I'm sending it to this boss here. Let me rename it so that we understand. So anybody will not be lost. So this kick boss. Then from this kick boss, I'm sending it into the final drum boss up. Now you can see this is the old drum boss. So my kick now, let's take notes please. The kick is going through from the kick channel, is going through from kick channel into the kick boss channel. From the kick boss channel into the drum boss channel. Are we following? Are we getting it? Can everyone hear me now? Someone is saying I should increase my volume. Over, I'm good now. Yeah. So this is why gain stage is important. Because now, if the kick from the channel, if it's already too loud, if it's already written yellow, if it's already written red, by the time I send it to this one, it will increase, whether you believe it or not. Now, by the time I now send it to the final drum boss again, why? Because for every boss that the channel is passing through, of course, we are processing it. You are putting a plugin on it. You are putting another EQ, another compressor, any plugin on it. That will enhance the channel, the kick. So even for EQ, hopefully by the end of this class, we'll be able to understand all these things. I'm really hoping everyone is following. Because this is what make a lot of mix at the end of the day. The broadcast mix, the live stream mix is sounding terrible. And the mix in the house is sounding okay. This is just the issue. So the challenge now is, if you are going to, anything you are doing on your channel, for those of you that are using analog mixer and you are using subgroup, you are using, you are using boss or something. For those of you that are using digital mixer and you are using a subgroup, this is it. So if you are the kind of engineer that you always send your drums into a drum subgroup, you do parallel compression, all those stuffs and all, this is very important for you. So the idea is, whether gain, whether EQ, whether compressor, like whether you are compressing, don't always do it on the channel as if that is the last thing you are, like, as if that's where you process it, that's the last place you process it. No. Sincerely, this is one of the things that has helped me. Let me bring up a channel. Let me load one of my presets. See, especially if you have X32, you have digital mixers that give you if you have wings, you have digital mixers, that gives you the opportunity to subgroup, to send everything, to group them into a bus, subgroup and all. If you have that sincerely, it will take your mix from 0 to 100. Try not to do this kick now. I can decide that I want to compress it well here. Yeah, let me take it to like 8 or 10. But the challenge with that is that by the time I do a very hard or serious compression on it here, by the time it gets to the subgroup, and bear in mind that we're still going to send it again to the main left and right. Because now, this kick here, you can say I'm not sending it to the main left and right. I'm not. What I'm sending to left and right now is this drum group. So I don't want to confuse us. I'm taking it little by little. So what am I just trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that for everything you do on the channel, always have it at the back of your mind that that thing will still be processed in front. Whether EQ. So if you're EQing your kick and you feel like this kick is not yet as heavy as you want it to be, or is not yet as punchy, maybe that bite is not there, don't try and over EQ. Don't try and achieve it on the channel. Send that old drums or the kick or everything, send it to another bus and re-EQ it there again. That's the trick. So this is for, if you are mixing and mastering, like I said, if you are mixing and mastering, if you are using digital mixer, this is the trick. For analog users, it's very simple. One of the things that a lot of people disturb me for is how I get a clean mix on my analog mixer. One of these is because I don't have an analog mixer again. Now that's why I've not been doing videos on analog mixer. Hopefully one of these I'll be able to get someone that would volunteer at church or something so I can come and use the analog mixer or something. Now is the same trick on analog mixers. I don't try to do too much on the channel. I do the fundamentals that I need to do, maybe boost the high a bit on the kick, boost the low, cut the mid, do the fundamentals. I always send all so the way I do it, my drums, I send them to a subgroup. My backups, I send them to a subgroup. So on that subgroup, I will now, reprocess it again. So that way it sounds smooth. So there's nothing that is over compressed, nothing that is over EQ'd. I hope we're getting this, because these things I'm taking it step by step by step. I really hope everyone is following, everyone is getting this. Please, if you are not muted, please mute. Please mute. So that's that about that. Yeah. Always try not to over process your channel. Always try. Do you get that? So now it's the same thing for gain. You get it. Now look at my gain here. You can see 0 dB. I try not to push too much. Now you can see my keyboard. See my aux. See. Because I know that I can still increase in front. I can still gain up more in front. So that's that about that. So now I hope we really understand the trick of gaining. So let me go back to this now. Let me show us. Now look at this kick in. Let me just give us a good example of what I'm trying to say. Now this is the channel, the kick in channel. This is it. I'm sending this into this kick bus. Now on this kick bus, let's assume that I did this EQ. This is the EQ I did on the kick bus. Now from this kick bus, I'm sending into this drum bus. How many of us are noticing how the sound is changing? The same kick, the same channel, just by passing through each. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Now this is the kick in, right? Now let's listen to it. For this one, I used an SSL channel. Can you hear it sounding? Please, is everyone following me? Now this is the kick in channel. Now the kick in, I'm sending it to this kick bus. Can we feel the difference now? Now from the kick bus, into the drum boss.
Yes.
Now, look at it now. Can we see the meter for the channel? Can you see the meter for the channel?
Yes, sir.
Can you see where it's hitting?
We can see it.
Now see the drum boss. See where it's hitting. Can you see that the drum boss is already entering yellow? It's looking like it's even almost clipping. Can we all see that?
Yes.
Now the same channel, I did
Yes.
increase gain. All I did was from this channel I did SSLG, then from this one I EQ'd, and then from the drum boss I just added this and this. Now what am I trying to say? I really hope we get this, but what am I trying to say? Now look at it, stage by stage. Each layer that that kick channel passed through added something to it. Now the channel that was just green here, that was JJ here, look at it. When it got to the drum boss, it was already entering yellow. So now imagine that at the beginning, at this channel level, I was already trying to make it sound maybe heavy, or trying to make it sound, I'm trying to gain up, and it's already entering yellow at this beginning. Now, if at this channel is already entering yellow, imagine what it will be eating at the drum boss. I don't know if we get it. If I try to make sure that I need to make this kick sound well in this channel, I need to make it, I need to EQ it, I need to compress it, and I do a lot of processing on it here. By the time it gets to this drum boss, it will be clipping. And this is the issue a lot of us have with our mix. I don't know if any of us have, experienced this before. There are times whereby you will solo your channel. You're like, this drums is sounding well here now. But by the time you remove the solo, you draw everything is sounding back. But you solo it, you say, this is it. So I'm taking our time to explain all these things now. So for your gain, for anything you are doing, anything processing you are doing, always make sure that try not to do too much. Try not to do too much at each stage. Are we getting that? Now, let's look at the kick out. Or let's look at the snare. Let's look at the snare. The same thing. So let's look at where the snare is hitting now. Now, you can say I already increased it. Let me take it back to 0. I had to increase it because I used the trigger on it. But now this is a natural sound. Now, can you hear where the snare is hitting? Can you hear it sounding now? At this stage, it will look like as if, so now, what did I do? This is the EQ. I just added EQ to the channel. This is it. Now, from the channel, I'm sending it into... Guys, please just give me 1 minute, please. So now look at it. Now this is with EQ. So now from this channel, I'm sending it to, let me increase the volume a bit. Okay. I'm sending it to a drum boss. Now the drum boss, another EQ, another compressor, then CLA drums. Now can you see how it's already going up? Now to the drum boss again. Let me drop the volume a bit. Let me put the trigger on. Can we hear that?
Yeah.
So that's just that's sincerely all about gain staging. So the idea is whatever you are doing when you are mixing, try not to make everything sound perfect on your channel, on just the channel. Like whether the snare channel, the tom channel, don't try to make everything perfect on that channel. You end up frustrating yourself. You end up, see, even if you're able to make everything perfect on that channel, trust me, at the long run, at the end of the mix, it might not now sound balanced. So the idea is try and make it as decent as possible, try and make it as neat as possible, try and make it as clean as possible on the channel.
Yes, sir.
Then as you move on, as you proceed, as you progress, every other thing keeps coming in, every other thing keeps getting better. Now some of all these make self sometimes by the time you are processing just the snare. Okay, look at this snare for example now that I'm playing now. Let me play to the trigger. See, at this stage now, it might even sound somehow. And that's the funny thing about mixing. Let me add the reverb to it. It might sound somehow, but by the time you add kick, add hi-hat, add over mic, add overhead mic, add everything to it, you'll be shocked that everything will just make sense. Trust me, everything will just make sense. So once you're able to get a decent, clean sound from the channel, move on. Move on. Trust me, move on. By the time you are done cooking everything, you yourself, you'll be shocked that, okay, look at it now, listening to just this snare sound, it might not sound nice. It might not sound like one kind mad snare sound. But trust me, by the time we're done with this mix, you'll be shocked that it's the same snare, it's the same mix, it's the same everything. So that's that about that. Today, we've been able to look at sources and, this proper gain staging. For the next class, we're going into EQ, how I EQ all of, EQ and then compression. The EQ and the compressing. Yeah, EQ and compressing. Yes, that's the next thing on the structure here that we'll be looking at. How do you EQ drums? How do you, they are just basic, fundamental things. There are some things that, even if you wake me up today, or as an engineer, they wake you up today, oh, come and EQ this kick. You should be able to understand, or you should be able to look at, okay, what do you want to achieve with this kick? You have only one kick, you don't have kick in, kick out. Okay, what can you do with it? What can you achieve with it? Oh, you are privileged to have kick in, kick out. Okay, how can you EQ the kick out? Do you understand all of those stuff? So the next thing we're going to be looking at now is what is EQ. The next class we're going to be looking at EQ, how we're going to how we're going to EQ everything from the drums to the instruments, vocals, everything, and then from there we're going to compression. I sincerely hope and believe that at the end of this class, because like I said, I'm going to share this multi-track to everyone. I'll cut out a bit, share to everyone, so that everyone can also, whatever I'm saying, you can practice, you can try it. And please, I just want everyone to understand that there's really no magic to this thing. It's just be calm, be patient, and pay attention to all of these things. It's the little details that really make a lot of difference. It's not in plugins. It's not. It's just in the little details. Do you understand? So I really want to appreciate everyone that joined in today. Thank you guys so much for your time. Thank you for taking our time. Thank you for making this possible. So in the next 10 minutes, if you have a question, just drop it in the comments, in the chats, or if you want to say it, raise up your hand so I can call you so we can do it orderly. In the next 10 minutes, we can call it a day. So any question from today's class or any question at all, just drop it in the comment section or raise up your hand if you want to talk so I can quickly call you. We have less than 10 minutes, please. All right. Any question? So the next class, if you're in the group, I'll drop an update, but most likely it's going to be next week Friday. Or since a lot of people are saying no, this and that, we might look at maybe Wednesday. Either Wednesday or Friday, I'll check it. I would check in with everyone in the group. Thank you, Mr. Michael. Thank you everyone for joining today. So any question? I have less than 9 minutes now. Please, it's very important that everything you've heard
It's
today.
nice. You have a question.
Okay, all right. Who has a question, please?
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening. You're welcome.
So this question might sound somehow, let's say, is for verification purpose. You talked about the under the kick, the mic for the kick, the
Yeah.
kicking and the kick out. So it just as verification. the mics that we use for those kicking and kick out,
Yes.
is should there be any difference between the two of them? I don't know. You get what I'm like.
Yes. I
Should it be the
understand you.
same? Okay.
Yes, yes. So
So
there has
please,
to be, yes, there has to be a big difference, a big one, not just even any difference, a big one. And that was why I started with source. Do you understand? And I'll send some pictures to the group to help every one of us here understand it better. Now, for instance, there are some microphones that you can use to capture the kick in. So let me just explain it. Fundamentally, the essence of the kick in is to capture the bites. Those bites, those those tight bites. Then the essence of the kick out fundamentally is to capture the low end, the doom, doom, doom. So there are some microphones that just like what I explained with this mic and this mic. Do you understand? So there are some microphones that naturally they are built in a way that they capture a lot of
Then it's
low
a
end.
lot of what also he does is
So and there are some microphones that are built in a way that they will help you capture, well. AY mute. So it's very important that different microphones for all of these things. Now, of course, there are some microphones that can help you to capture both. Do you understand? There are some microphones like that can help you at least. If that's the only mic you have,
okay.
it can help you to capture both. But there's always a difference. There's always a difference. There are mics for this, like there are mics made differently for these purposes. There are mics like that.
So sorry. So in a case whereby maybe I wait for the option of the mic that can capture both, the positioning of the mic now, should it be in like the kicking, or should I just leave it? Maybe I
Yes,
don't know.
I
Like now
mentioned
we're
this
using a
earlier
mic that
too. So now, if you have a mic, for instance, there's a particular show. I think it's show better. I would send a picture to the group. Someone should just remind me, please. That mic can help you capture both the high end and the low end. Now, the idea is that kind of microphone. Now, you have to put it in between. Put it a little bit into the kick and a little bit outside, so that way it can
okay.
help you capture both the bite from inside and the frequency, the body from outside. So you can't put it so much inside, if not it will lose some of the frequencies from outside, and you can't put it so much outside. So and that's where the stress is, because by the time some kind drummers come now, they use kick, they use leg and eat the kick once. Kick is, do you understand? That's why a lot of people just avoid the stress of just doing that and just doing kick in and kick out. But if you can position the mic well, put it in the middle. If you can position it, trust me, you have a good sound. So that's that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. So any other question, please? I have less than 5 minutes. All right, Mr. Ruben, thank you.
Yes, sir. My question is just simple. I just want to ask if the mix you sent to the group, did you use a console or a DAW for the mix?
Oh, so that particular mix is
Yes.
this was where I did it. Is this door I used? Is like this is literally that was the logic I was showing us. Like what I was showing on the screen. That was literally where I mixed it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's my laptop I use. So hopefully
Thank
along
you.
the line in other classes, I'm going to show us because I have an MR18 here. So I'm going to show us. We're going to run the same mix on the door. The way I'm taking it now, and the same thing I'm going to run it through the MR18 digital mixer, so that everybody here, if you're using the door, if you're using the MR18, anything you get with it. So for the drum exchanger, I will check if I still have the what's the name, because I don't use drum exchanger again. I, I had to peer pressure made me buy the what's the name SSL trigger. I be the slate trigger. But I'll check if I still have the. Just send me a DM or send me a message. K. Let me see if I still have the SPL sent to you. So any other question? I have less than 4 minutes now. Any other question? But sincerely, I'm really grateful to everyone.
Please, I have a question. I don't know.
All right, go on, please.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with
Okay.
you. Go on.
First of all, I'll state my stage as I'm a sound engineer.
All right,
So I'm kind of in my, let's say, entry level
all
to
right,
sound engineer. Most times, based on the church where I worship, we lack, let's say, resources to provide the right mic or whatever that we're going for. But sometimes I feel like me knowing, okay, for example, now the question was for miking of storm
Yeah.
and snare. Okay, talk about that. One should be dynamic. That is the overhead.
Yes.
But something like snare now or hi hat. I think the station where people, okay, you say that in hi hat you can use dynamic, but it was a statement you use to back it up. The type of dynamic you should use for hi hat.
Yeah.
But the likes of storm, we what is the best mic for a church that cannot produce that does not have the resources to use?
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that question because um majority of every one of us, that's the challenge we have. Most of us, to get the original drum mix is a lot. So what I'll do is I will drop some mics I think can work for you that are very affordable. One of it is the one that every one of us know, the tax car mic, the mic that I'm using. I'll drop some other mics also in the group that are quite affordable you can use at least for a start to get a good decent sound from your drums. All right. All right. So thank you guys so much. Does anyone still have a question? I don't know. So, Raphael, I would try and the way it's going like this, she will not just continue in the group chat like this. Maybe I'll just do a voice call in the group chat that will continue because how do I answer your question, Raphael? It's actually very easy. So it depends on the kind of analog mixer that you're using, first of all, to answer this your question. Depends on the kind of analog mixer. I've worked with a lot of analog mixers. So there are some analog mixers that give me the opportunity to compress subgroups again. There's some analog mixer that give me the opportunity to to EQ subgroups again. And there's some analog mixer that they don't give me the opportunity to do both. What they give me to do, the opportunity they give me to do is just to balance it. So if I'm going to answer this question, I will have to know, first of all, what kind of mixer are you using? Then I can know how to, go on to help you answer the question properly. Do you understand that? All right, so that's it for today. If there's any other question, just drop it in the group. If we need to jump on a call, I'll see if I'm supposed to join a meeting soon, but hopefully if the meeting doesn't hold, I'll see if we can continue the WhatsApp group. Let's see if we can continue the WhatsApp group. Let's see if we can just have the talk there and round up everything. But first of all, I sincerely want to appreciate everyone that joined today. Thank you for your time. And I know some of you yourself, all of what these things I've said, you it's like you don't even need it. You are just waiting for when we want to start inking, start compressing. But yet you stay to the end. And sincerely, I'm grateful for everyone. Sincerely grateful for everyone. I'm hoping that by the end of this series, at least everyone here should be able to get a decent mix, do a nice mix. And God bless every one of you. Thank you for joining. I'm really grateful. Um, See you guys. Hopefully, Wednesday or Friday, I would communicate with everyone. But thank you guys so much. I sincerely appreciate everyone. Ruben, Sean, Peter, Goodness,
God
Michael.
bless.
I'm grateful to every one of you. Sam, God bless you. So take care, guys. Let's continue the group, please. Thank you guys so much. Father, we thank you for today. Take all the glory and bless us all in the name of Jesus. Thank you, guys. Take care.